All right, guys, let's take a look at what number. 8. Real quick, how far apart is 16 and 24? 8. So the biggest possible number that can go into both of these is 8. Does that make sense? 8 can only go into multiples of 8, and multiples of 8 are separated by 8. Right? So these are like really farther apart. So the biggest possible thing to go into these would be 64. But this only allows 8. Anyway, it's not too hard to see, it's 8. So 8, how many D's can come out? 1. Because he's only got 1. How many G's can come out? 1, because he's only got 1. So basically, you divide the numbers by 8, and then you take 1 D away, and you take 1 G away. That's the idea. That's what we're doing from each term. So 80 divided by 8 is 10. 1 less D, 1 less G. What? 16 divided by 8 is 2. It's crazy. 1 less D, so D's gone. What's next? So D's gone, and then G6. I like it. 24 divided by 8. 3. 1 less D. 1 less G. So notice, I know I'm done because 2 and 3 have nothing in common. This has no D's, this has no G's. Therefore, they can't possibly, something comes out still. You want to take a look and make sure you're done.
What if you don't do it by the highest number? What if you did it by 4?
Then you have 20, 4, and 6, and a 2 could still come out. So if you already have a 4 out, and you take out another 2, now you got an 8 out here. It's sort of similar to if I said reduce, what you got, Jeff? 12 over 24, and you made it 6 over 12. Are you done yet? No, because more goes in. So yeah, maybe you won't see the biggest number, but you'll see right here, you'll go, oh shit, they still have a 2. I can take another 2 out and multiply what's out there by 2.
So it's not correct. You don't have to.
It's not correct, exactly. So it's going to say factor completely. So it must mean that there's nothing left in here that could still come out. Otherwise, I could just stay here. I want to take a 1 out of everything. It's all easy. No, you take as much out. That's why it's called greatest common factor, the biggest thing. Alright, so now watch. Here is a really easy problem. Sure. How do you factor that? And of course, I made you all scared because it said it was really easy. There's no tricks. Absolutely no tricks. This is the build up to the next level. A can come out.
5.
Okay. Yay, Jeff. Good job, Jeff. So look at this. This is the exact same thing I'm going to write down. Because what is A? I don't know what it is. So I'm going to write the exact same thing down right now. There. Exact same problem. I just let A be what? I replaced A with x minus y. What's x minus y? A. What's A? I don't know. So I'm not saying the problem would start here and would become this. I'm saying here's a problem, this is how you do it. Here's a different problem, it's actually not really different. What is this? Let me start with this. How many terms are up here? I think I heard it. 2. 1, 2. They're separated by plus and minus. Isn't this 5 times something? That's a term. Minus b times something, that's a term. What do both of those terms have exactly in common? I love it. Now let me ask you a really weird question, or the answer's going to be really weird possibly. Do either of these terms have an x in it? No, neither one does. Neither one has an x. Does 8 have a 2 in it? Yes, because 8 is 2 times 4. Is that cool? So 8 has a 2 in it. Does 8 have a 7 in it? I don't care that 8 is 7 plus 1. 8 don't have no 7 in it, right? Again, showing off my grammatical skills. Do you guys understand what I mean? So people get really weirded out when I say there is no x anywhere up here. I see a 5, I see an x minus y. I see a minus b, and I see an x minus y. So what do they have in common? X minus y. So it works just like this. That was in common. Oop, get out of there. That was in common. This is in common. X minus y, and what's left? 5 minus b. Same thing as it was before. So we have to get over thinking this is two separate things. When it's something times this is one number. If I knew what x was and I know what y was, that is one number. Let's do another one of those. Another one. Let's see. Now that I've shown you the idea, hopefully you know how to look at it now. Because this isn't the next level yet. So this shouldn't be that crazy. So let me ask you, what does this first term have in it? It has a 4 and an m and
a minus
3b. What's this guy have? He's got a 5 and m minus 3b. So what do they have in common? That's what I'm going to take out, because that must be what they both got. So what do I have in common? M minus 3b. What do I have left when I take it back away? 4m. 4m plus 5. You can sing the answer. I like it. Get a little barbershop quartet. 4m plus 5. 4m plus 5. Whatever. Or not. So here's the truly next level, and then we'll get out. Like I told you, very, very early, so I can go back to my office and grieve, but just to really let it out there what the hell I'm thinking. Here's the true next level. So is there anything at all that can come out of every term up there? No, there's nothing. The numbers, there's 5, doesn't go with 12 at all. So the whole thing's screwed there. Not everybody has an M, not everybody has a B, not everybody has an A. So there's no GCF for the whole thing. But how many terms are there? 4. So when there are 4 or more terms, and I have no GCF for everybody, I try to pair them up. I try to group them. Because then maybe it'll become, I don't know, something like this. So this is what's called, remarkably enough, grouping. And when do you do grouping? When you have 4 or more terms. So the weird thing about factoring is always GCF. GCF is always there. You always try that first. And then if there's 4 terms, you do a certain thing. If there's 3 terms, you do a certain thing. If there's 2 terms, you do a certain thing. If there's 1 term, you're golden. You don't have to do shit. So the handout trying to show you 4 terms, 3 terms, 2 terms. What's the process for each? So if you count the number of terms, you know exactly what method to try. So here, if I see 4 terms, I group the first 2, group the second 2. What comes out of the first 2? 4?
4m.
M. And what's left?
A minus 3b.
A minus 3b. Kick ass. What comes out of here? 5. And what's left?
A
minus 3b. How do I know I'm on the right track? These are the same. If those are not the same, I cannot do the next step, even though people are always writing the next step down. even if these aren't the same, that's some pure magic. Because the only reason I could do the next step is if they both had the same thing in them. Because then I can take it out like we just did up here. If these aren't the same, I can't do shit. I did something wrong. Or it's just prime. So now I can take an a minus 3b out. And what's left? 4n plus 5 like we just got up there. I like it. Cool. And I'm thinking our next quiz might be next Wednesday. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. All right, guys. So go hug your loved ones and